Good evening and welcome to this Weather Fans Live here on this Sunday evening. And it's just myself tonight as Paul's got to work this evening. What we'll do is crack on with it straight away. So it's going to be a bit of a shorter live tonight than normal. First thing we'll take a look at is the Met Office current warnings. Let's get it on the screen for you right now. Let's make sure it's on the screen. Yes, it is. All right, let's take the first look at the snow and ice one for northern Scotland. This is valid from 2 p.m. today through to Wednesday at least 10 a.m. So the details for this is for frequent wintry showers, mainly of snow, will feed into northern Scotland during this period. A few centimetres of snow is likely at lower levels over a given 24-hour period, with the potential for 10 to 15 above 200 metres, especially across parts of the Highlands. Ice will be an additional hazard, especially during Tuesday night. Excuse me, I should have had that pop before I started. So yeah, we're expecting wintry showers to affect northern and western Scotland for the next few days. Obviously, when it turns cold at night, that will more likely to freeze. So the ice will be the issue there. So only a yellow one for that at the moment. Just go back. The next warning to look at is for northern England into northern Wales and Northern Ireland. This is for ice. This is valid through till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wintry showers are expected to develop across Northern Ireland, Wales and Western England during Sunday afternoon and evening, extending east across southern Scotland and the remainder of northern and central England. Clearing skies later in the night are expected to lead to ice developing on untreated surfaces. Showers will mainly fall as rain at low levels, but could turn to snow in heavier or more prolonged showers, resulting in 2 to 5 centimetres, accumulating in places above 100 to 200 metres. For example, west of Northern Ireland, Cumbria, Pennines, and North Wales. So it's mostly over high ground of Northern England and Northern Ireland and also Northern Wales. So if you had any showers during today, just take care first thing in the morning because it could lead to some ice first thing in the morning. So take extra care on that one. And the other warning is for snow down the southeast. Just going to have a look at Tuesday and Wednesday. The ice warning, snow and ice warning remains in northern Scotland, but there is a snow warning for southeastern England between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. on Monday morning. What is happening here is a spell of heavy rain may affect parts of southeast England during the early hours of Monday morning, lasting into morning travel period before clearing eastwards. 10 to 20 millimetres of rain is expected in places, and there is a risk of this turning to snow before clearing. There is large uncertainty as to whether it will snow, but if it does, a few places may see 2 to 5 centimetres accumulating above 100 metres in a fairly short period. This may lead to difficult travel conditions and some disruption. So on the warning impact matrix, there's an unlikely chance it will happen, but if it does, it could cause quite high impacts there, hence why the yellow ones out there. As mentioned, this area might not get any snow at all, but there's just that potential there could be. We're literally on that periphery of whether if that falls from the sky will be of rain, sleet, or snow. So that's something to keep an eye on first thing tomorrow morning for safe eastern areas. No doubt, if anything does come of this, the Met Office are more likely to update the warning down there. So what is happening? Let's have a look at the latest facts chart from the Met Office while I get it onto the screen. Excuse me. What we got this is developing low pressure, which we've covered on Thursday, which is heading towards northern France into Normandy. As that develops, that's expected to scoot across the channel, clipping the south coast. As it clears tomorrow morning, may produce that area of snow. So there's that main low there. Clear into like the Low Countries and into Germany. Some strong winds on its back edge of this. I believe it's been named by the Spanish or the French Met with the possible snow risk, but definitely the wind gusts, which we'll have a look at the charts in just a moment. And with this here, we're probably expecting a few showers come down the eastern side, maybe the East Midlands into East Anglia. We'll have a look at the rainfall chart shortly. Then through Monday into Tuesday, another area of low pressure dives into perhaps clipping the southwest of England and into France again. Then during Tuesday, we're under a bit of a slack northerly, really. The showers still affecting northern Scotland, ridge of high pressure across the UK. And more likely, temperatures will be struggling there to get much above freezing. Maybe quite a bit of sunny spells there. Into Wednesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday, we're expecting a few showers to move down in this northwest to northerly flow. Then on Wednesday at the stage, we're still in this northerly flow. A few showers moving down into northern England. This trailing weather front down western side, mainly affecting Ireland and maybe perhaps the southern coast of England, but that's a bit uncertainty at this stage. Excuse me. And at the moment on Thursday, just bear with me a second. I've had an update from the Met Office actually as I'm going live. So that's just been updated right now. I'll have a look at the Met Office in just this moment. The ice warning that I mentioned from the Met Office has been updated. Warning extended further north over Western Scotland due to the band of showers moving inland Sunday evening. So we'll have a look at that in just a moment. So as I'm actually live now, the Met Office have updated their ice warning. So I'll refresh that. I'll go back to the Met Office in just a few moments to see if it's been updated on the main site itself. Right, back to Thursday, we're expecting a ridge of high pressure across the UK, which bring mostly fine weather, but the winds are beginning to switch back to westerly on that. So just bear me a moment while I just have a look at the Met Office, see if that's been updated. I'll just refresh that. It has indeed. Any more warnings been updated since? Right, let's come out of the streaming. Is it going to let me flick across into that? It has actually, yes. So this ice warning, as I've been live, has been extended more towards southwest Scotland. So it's been extended from around about here up up into northwest Scotland for that ice warning. And it's been updated, barely 5 minutes ago. Warning extended further north over western Scotland due to the band of showers moving inland on Sunday evening. So, as I said, that's just happened in the last 5 minutes, updated by the Met. And just to confirm, there's no other updates. I don't think that snow one's been updated. No. Right, so let's go back to where we was. If let's flick back across. Got into that one person watching live here on the Weather Fans page. I have no Paul tonight as he's at work. So let's have a look at the UKV charts, see what's that shown with the radar. Precipitation rate. So there's still some showers expected this evening. And what we see up during the night is this spell of rain affecting southwestern areas. Back on Thursday, there was uncertainties whether if it will be of snow, but the computer models have backed away from that as it's just slightly too warm for that to be snow. I reckon, me personally, I reckon you can't rule out the odd flake or two over higher ground of southwestern England. But during the night, that band of rain will scoot across the south coast, and it's just that potential that some of that could turn to snow overnight in southeastern areas, but that is really under a lot of uncertainty. Then during tomorrow, we'll see some showers, isolated showers really. This is showing across the eastern side of England and perhaps through the Midlands. And showers continue for Scotland and parts of Northern Ireland, far north of Ireland. What happens as we go through into Tuesday? A risk of some more showers affecting southwestern areas. Showers continue in Scotland. And some showers perhaps affecting northwest England there, maybe through the Cheshire Gap. Some may get to the North Midlands, perhaps turn a bit wintry over high ground. Then more showers again through the night, Tuesday night into Wednesday, affecting Wales, parts of the Midlands, perhaps some southwestern areas as well. Again, some of these could be wintry, especially over high ground. Sorry about that. I thought I had problems with my connection, but it seems to be running fine at the moment. So let's have a look at the GFS charts, see what the latest GFS is showing. Let's have a look at 850 so we can see what the air is like above. So let's go through into right now. So we've got this developing area of low pressure, which is going to scoot across, perhaps just clipping the far southwest of England, heading to Normandy, northern France. We've got strong winds on its southwestern flank. As mentioned, that'll just clip along the south coast there before it moves it through France and into Germany and the Low Countries. We'll have a look at the wind speeds in that in just a moment. This allows more cold air back in again. So we're under relatively cold air at the moment, but as this low pressure, as it develops, we'll actually bring in more colder air across the UK during Monday. Then during Monday night into Tuesday, another little lower pressure develops, again affecting the same areas, perhaps clipping the far southwest of England and into France. Then that might be the TV. Apologies for that. I thought my daughter just woke up there. During Wednesday, we're expecting. So this is showing actually quite strong winds actually from the northwest to northerly there. So we feel quite bitter really in that wind. We've got high pressure to our southwest. We're still on the wasn't it slack area of actually we're filming between pressure systems there. We've got a ridge of high pressure trying to move in from the southwest there, but we're under cold air. On the Thursday's run, it was showing that high pressure moving into the UK. Is that still going to happen? Let's have a look. Start to turn mild as the winds turn into a southwesterly. Got high pressure to our south. So it's relatively staying mild, but it could be cold on the surface under that high pressure. The high pressure does actually move across the UK. We're going to risk of some fog and frost as we head into the later part of next week. Obviously now we're in an unreliable time frame. And we're not really seeing much cold air apart from the next few days on this run. Maybe try and attempt a northerly, which kind of fails. But we've got a lot of cold air sitting towards Scandi at the end of January at this stage. Let's see what this morning's run was showing, see if that's showing similar to what's showing now. So again, this morning's run was showing the area of low pressure scooting across the south coast, heading into France and into the Low Countries, then into Germany, flooding that cold air across the UK. And Wednesday, this was showing a northerly wind across much western areas there, with a ridge of high pressure for Thursday. And that high pressure seems to have its more influence for the weekend there, but under relatively mild air, but it could be cold on the surface, something to keep an eye on. Seems to be getting a bit of a long fetch southwesterly there through into next week, with low pressure scooting into the northwest of Scotland. Perhaps gale force winds possible there. And that high tries to move in again from the southwest during the later part of next week. Again, risk of frost and fog. Could be warm air aloft, but cold air on the surface, which will lead again to fog. That moves that high pressure actually across the UK. Again, not showing any cold air on the surface to the end of this run either. So at the moment, potentially this cold air we got over us at the moment could last until the later part of this week. So let's go back into the latest run of the GFS. Let's have a look at the precipitation type. So let's see if this does show any snow for the southeast on this run here. So there's those wintry showers perhaps affecting Wales earlier on today. This is showing a bit of sleetiness across the southwest overnight, perhaps along the M4 corridor. Maybe that's slightly overdoing it. And there's that risk of a bit of snow possibly first thing tomorrow morning down for the southeastern areas, with some wintry showers further north. And this is showing the showers during tomorrow going through the Cheshire Gap into parts of the Midlands, again parts of Wales, and maybe if possible a feature coming down the North Sea coast there, and those showers continuing over northern and western Scotland. And those showers out during the evening across England and Wales on Tuesday. We've got another bout of rain just skimming the southwest coast, maybe again wintry for the far southwest, mostly over high ground. And again, this is showing wintry showers going through the Cheshire Gap once again, possibly mostly snow over high ground, maybe a few flakes of snow to lower levels, a bit of sleetiness. And that continues through into Wednesday. This is showing those showers coming straight through England, Wales, actually during Wednesday. Showing a bit of quite a lot of snow showers actually through Wednesday on this run of the GFS. This is low resolution, so it won't actually be precisely what would happen, but the risk is there. Then turns quieter for a while before Friday. We have some rain coming through before it turns dry for Saturday and Sunday with risk of some normal rain showers. We'll leave that as that at the moment. So mentioned about the strong winds perhaps affecting parts of France in the next few days. So that's, I've got the wind gusts. So under relatively more or less westerly winds, perhaps northwesterlies across Scotland. So there's those strong winds effect coming into France there. So they're perhaps getting gusts of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds possible. Maybe 70 to 80. So I think that's perhaps why it's been named by the French Met, I believe. Not seen the name myself, but I've heard somewhere that it has been named. I think it might actually been Paul actually mentioned to me earlier on. That has been named. That scoots into the near continent. Then I believe Monday night and Tuesday, I think that one's a bit further southwest. Another spell of strong winds will perhaps affect possibly northern Spain on this one, and calm winds across the UK. They were gusting to about 20 to 30 mile per hour during Wednesday and into Thursday. A little feature coming down the North Sea coast there during Wednesday, so that could be where that some enhanced snow showers maybe, or wintry showers coming down the North Sea coast. And high pressure moves in for Friday, turn there for much calmer. Before the wind starts picking up again more from the southwest, which will increase the temperatures slightly for the weekend. Speaking of temperatures, let's have a look at the temperatures. So currently looking at 3 and 4 at the moment, as the skies are mostly clear across much of England and Wales and Scotland, away from the showers in the northwest and that feature going along the south coast. I'll say anything from the M4 corridor southwards. And tomorrow's temperatures across the board, we're looking a lot chillier of late. Some places will struggle to get above freezing, and we're looking about low to mid single digits across the board there. We'll have a look at the overnight lows in just a moment. So heading to Tuesday, again, some places will struggle to get much above freezing, maybe 3s or 4s tops across southeastern areas. So definitely a good 7 to 10 degree temperature difference compared to last week where I got milder air. During Wednesday, again, temperatures barely above freezing, low to mid single digits across the board. Thursday is much of the same, perhaps a degree or 2 higher for much of England and Wales. And maybe the snow showers, maybe or wintry showers affecting East Anglia and the eastern areas could get the temperatures barely above freezing. through Thursday. And into Friday, we're looking again at similar temperatures, what we've seen all week. So we get to see that milder air trying to move in from the west later on Friday. So how it's looking at the moment? Temperatures will be in the single digits for virtually the rest of the week, really. And as we head into Saturday, that milder air does start to move in with temperatures scraping into double digits for some areas, maybe the high single figures there. And beyond that, again, voicing to milder air, really, 12 degrees maybe for next Monday. Again, double digits for next Tuesday and high single digits for Wednesday. So as it stands, this cold spell is expected to last up to possibly late on Friday at this stage. Let's have a look at the potential overnight lows for the next few days. So overnight temperatures tonight, we're expecting to be a few degrees above zero for many parts of England and Wales, and perhaps around about 0 to perhaps -1, -2, and the rest of England and Wales. And for northern Scotland, especially up the Highlands, we're looking at between -5 to -10. They were expecting it's like a widespread frost during Monday night into Tuesday under the clearing skies. Soon as that sun goes down on Monday, temperatures are just going to start to plummet. By Tuesday morning, could be seen that at least -2 to -5 for many areas. Again, northern Scotland could see -5 to perhaps -8, -9. So under those clearing skies, we were expecting to see a frost. Then again, as soon as that sun goes down on Tuesday, excuse me a second while I cough. Temperatures will drop, but don't seem to be dropping as low as the previous night, Monday night into Tuesday. So maybe 0 to -3, maybe at tops. Or in those frost hollows, we're probably still talking about maybe -5, -6, my guess. And again, the risk of some frost again on Thursday morning. Temperatures are plummeting again for northern Scotland to parts of northern England. And Thursday night into Friday, again, many places will be expecting some kind of frost. Maybe there's a feature coming through there to just keep the temperatures slightly above. As we know, Friday night into Saturday, the temperatures are set to rise. And we'll see that many areas will escape a frost, maybe parts away from the Highland of Scotland. And I won't go any further on that. Let's check to see how we're all doing. No comments, so let's carry on. Let's have a look at the snow depth, see where it's predicting some of these snowfalls. So let's have a look, see if anything pops up. This is still showing perhaps a light covering of the very high ground of southwest England, maybe along the south coast there. This has got that further perhaps into Hampshire and Surrey there. But the Met Office was predicting some snow will fall as far southeast. So let's see what happens in the next 12 hours or so. So snow showers continue for northern Scotland, perhaps accumulates over high ground, and perhaps into far north of England over the high ground. Then do any of these snow showers come inland? There's a bit over northern Wales there through Tuesday. Look at the snow levels is getting around about below 100 meters, so any precipitation that might fall will be of snow. And through Wednesday, it's showing like some kind of feature moving down the North Sea coast here, which perhaps give a few centimeters potentially. And I'm still seeing these accumulations across the Highland of Scotland into northern England, again down the North Sea coast. But really, the devil being the detail. We're just literally on that boundary between what's going to be rain, sleet, or snow. So it's something we need to keep an eye on the next few days and see what the Met Office will update their warnings. I'm just going to check to see if they've updated any of their warnings elsewhere. Just bear me 1 second. Might be just that warning they've updated this evening. No, they've not updated that snow warning for the southwest, so we'll continue. Let's have a look at the stratosphere, because I keep seeing rumours that the polar vortex could be splitting later on this month, which could lead to some colder air in the next 3 to 5 weeks. But let's have a look what happens here. So the blues here indicate a very strong polar vortex over the North Pole. We've got some warming towards the Asian side of the Asian and Russian side of the North Pole. Do we see any potential warming there? And will it push it out? So we've got a bit of warming inside of the polar vortex. Do we get any significant warming? We start seeing some warming there with some oranges appearing. To get a southern stratospheric warming, we need to see the reds turn up, and for that to push into the North Pole, which will then weaken the polar vortex. Seeing a bit of oranges appearing there. It's definitely putting pressure on the polar vortex, and this warmer air seems to be shifting into the North Pole more. Is that warming going to continue, or is it going to weaken off? What happens with the polar vortex? Let's have a look. It's really putting it under pressure, and seems to be getting another warming later on there. So the PV is getting under a lot of pressure with this warming surrounding it at the minute, trying to push into the North Pole, which is, I'm guessing, somewhere around about this region here. So we definitely need to keep an eye on that in the coming lives, really. We're seeing that warming there and putting pressure on the PV. I know some model runs were splitting the PV a few days ago. And it definitely seems to be something happening in the high levels of the atmosphere at the moment. So let's see what happens in the next few lives. It's not guaranteed southern stratospheric warming, but something we will keep an eye on. Let's see if I can have a look at the ACMWF and see what that is coming up with. So we'll look at the 850, see how far I can go with this. So this is what we're seeing with the GFS, showing where the cold and warm air is aloft. I'm not sure how far I can go with this. So that's also showing that low pressure coming into northern France, scooting across the south coast of England. That goes away, then does that show a low pressure developing? It does. Slack area of low pressure. That's shown us some northwest and northerly winds through Wednesday. got a little feature coming into the North Sea coast, so that could be what's given the snow showers maybe for northeast of England during Wednesday. It's staying relatively cold till Friday when that milder air tries to go coming across top of this high pressure sat towards the west of Iberia. And then puts us back into relatively mild air southwesterly. And that high pressure moves in from the southwest. So I'm still got the total precipitation. See how much rain is forecast in the next week or so from the ECMWF. So we can see that rain affects the southern coast of England overnight, risk of some winteriness. And we can see that northern Spain especially are getting quite a bit of rain there in the next few days through into Tuesday. We're not too much going into England, Wales and the UK, just those showers affecting said areas I mentioned earlier on. During Wednesday, I've got that little feature come down the North Sea there, which could bring some showers to eastern side of England. Again, looks like there's another pulse there of perhaps wet weather coming into northern Iberia, affecting north of Portugal and north of Spain, perhaps southwest of France. Then later on in the period, looks like we'll try and get rain coming to the northwest of England. But it's mostly dry, really, across much of central England into East Anglia. Perhaps no more than about 5 millimetres in the next 10 days or so, really. As we know, later in the period, it's subject to change. Okay, what we'll have a look at next is the latest observations from outside right now. Let's give that an update, see if let's refresh. There we go. So at the moment, the highest temperature is plus 8 degrees, which is these locations here, which is somewhere in maybe northern France, actually. Le Touquet. I don't know. I couldn't even pronounce any French at all. But in St. Catherine's Point as well on the Isle of Wight. And the coldest temperatures at the moment is -3 at Stornoway in the far northwest of Scotland. So that rain, just check if it is raining down the southwest. Or that weather front is affecting the southwest, if that's the case. Yeah. Temperature's a bit too mild, actually. There's a lot of heavy rain in the southwest at the moment. So temperatures are slightly too warm for any snow or anything like that. Maybe of the highest ground of southwest England, maybe around Dartmoor, around these areas here of high ground, may get to see some sleetiness. And that rain will come across the south there. So yeah, around 6 degrees down around Cold Rose, 705, and Gloucestershire Airport at 6. So that's heading to the Midlands there. Church Lorville at +5, Nottingham at +4, Leconfield at +2, and Teesside's currently at 0. So we're heading to the cold air further north. Haldon at 3 degrees in North Wales, Rhyl at 3 degrees, Towards Cewid at 4, Shap at 1, which is your normal Frost Hollow. I think it's Frost Hollow. Oh no, I think that's high ground, isn't it? Yes. So that's at 1 degrees. Into Scotland, Strathallan at -1, Loch Galashnock at -2, and Kirkwall Airport at 0 degrees. So this should tell me what the weather's doing down there. So yeah, we've got rain down the southwest at the moment. Overcast with that ahead of that rain coming in. And clear skies for much of southern England. Maybe overcast some places here. Maybe where the showers have perhaps died out during the day. And we've got some sleetiness over northern areas up there. There's some light snow in Altnahara. And one thing we'll have a look at is the pressure chart. So on here, it does actually show that low pressure just clipping the southwest there. And as mentioned, it will come across the southern areas, but mainly affecting northern France. So the pressure's at 987 down the far in the Scilly Isles. 987, low pressure will obviously be further south there with that low pressure. Now let's have a look at the winds, see what direction they're coming from. Mainly from a southwesterly, so not quite on the cold air, but it's mainly northwesterly to northerly for parts of Scotland there. Right, I'm back on the screen there. I think that will cover us just for now. I can't believe I've been rabbiting on for over 45 minutes on my own. We'll draw this to an end now. And I'll probably have pull back for Thursday. So any updates on the Met Office we'll post on live on the Weather Fans page as and when we can do that between obviously our work and everything. And thank you for watching. And thank you for the like, whoever that could be. Andy Stones, thank you, Randy. And we'll see you again live on Thursday here on the Weather Fans page. Thanks for watching and ta-ra.